Welcome to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
We're coming to you after Game 4. The Leafs lose 7-3. So coming up on episode 154, we're going to do our best to break down this horse shit of a game. I don't know what you can really say. They didn't show up. They didn't have anything tonight. They just didn't have it. And the Leafs lose 7-3. I don't know. Fuck.
No, they sure as hell did not have it, man. They did not have it. I'd say they did not have it as a bit of an understatement. I was just listening to the end of the the end of the broadcast there before we started recording here, and Friedman was saying that since 2017, and I know there's a lot of changes, but the core guys are there since 2017, when the Leafs have had a lead in a series, a lead of any kind. 2-1 lead, 3-2 lead, whatever, in a series. They're 1-8 in anytime they've had in the next game. Anytime they've had a lead,
like
in the
either
series.
eliminating or taking a 2-game lead, you mean? And that would have been last year against Montreal.
Yeah, they haven't eliminated anybody. So it's if they've had when they had a 2-1 series lead against Montreal last year, they went up 3-1, and that was the fucking end of that. But since 2017. Anytime they've had a lead in a series, a 1-game lead, a 2-game lead, whatever the fuck, a lead, period. They're 1-8.
What is it? What do you think it is?
In the following game.
You think it's the killer instinct?
Well, I think that has a lot to do. You see any of that tonight?
No, nothing.
You got to see, like, now you're in a position where you got to beat these guys 2 of the next 3 games. That's doable. Let me just say off the top here.
And 2 of those games are at home.
Yeah, sure. Like, let me just say off the top here, I think the Toronto Maple Leafs have been the better team in 3 out of the 4 games. Not tonight. Tonight was absolute fucking abysmal. Like, absolute no-show.
John Cooper said after game 1, we gave the Leafs a freebie. Well, guess what? You just got it back.
Oh, dude.
Because the Leafs just handed you a freebie. That was
absolute.
That was a shit show. But yeah, you're right. Toronto's played amazing in this series. And tonight they had a chance to go up 3-1 and go back to Toronto with a chance to put this away. Didn't even bother showing up.
Didn't even fucking show up, man. So now you're in a position where Tampa doesn't lose 2 in a row. They just don't. They don't do it. So you're in a position where you don't win game 5. You're fucking done. You're done. That's how I see this. If you do not win game 5 on home ice, you're done. It's over. Are you going to beat them in game 6 and game 7 to win this series? No, you're not. I'm sorry. I'll just put it blunt. Like, it's not happening. Period.
No, you're right.
It's not happening. Right. So they lose game 5, this series is over.
And what should make us think any different, right? Like, even if they lose game 5 and they win game 6, what in recent history?
It's still over. It's still over.
Yeah, what in recent history? The team doesn't lose 2 in a row, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Leafs in game 7s. Well, we all know how that goes. Look, it never goes good.
I could eat my words here. And if they lose game 5, could they go to Tampa and win game 6 and force game 7 and miraculously win game 7? Yes, that could obviously happen. But knowing what we know here, I don't see it going that way. I think this series rides on Tuesday night, and they could win Tuesday night and still lose this series.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
So, but if they lose Tuesday night, in my opinion, they are for sure losing this series.
I don't know.
Do you not think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. If they lose Tuesday night, there's just no way they're going to win 2 in a row.
It's very unlikely.
Tampa hasn't let anybody win 2 in a row in 2 years.
No, I know.
So it's not going to happen. But anyway, we're getting a lot of comments, and we'll get into it. But I'll start with this. The very start of the game, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 comments already on why Justin Holl started the game. Your sixth defenseman started the game. He gave up the puck in the first minute, cost you a goal right off the bat.
To have him in the lineup is one thing. To have him on the ice, the opening fucking shift,
why? I can show you some of these comments. We have Spike saying starting Holl in the starting lineup was unbelievably dumb. Chris says why Holl was on the ice in the first minute blows my mind. And what happened? Tampa came in. They were fucking just like you knew the Tampa Bay Lightning were going to do. They came hard. They came so hard. They came Peter North hard at the fucking Leafs.
Harder. And that's how hard that was.
And that's saying something. And Justin Holl gave it away, winds up in the back of the net. It's 1-0, first shot, first minute.
Dude, like, it's Muzzin and it's Brody all day long, okay?
And even Riley Labushkin. Why is your I don't even care if Gio starts with somebody else, but your 6th defenseman, basically your 7th defenseman, maybe your
Insane.
8th defenseman is starting a game where you need to weather the storm in the first 5 minutes? I didn't
I'm not
understand that at all.
like,
I
I'm
understood
not
starting Kampf. I get that. They had a great game last game. I get starting the Kampf line, but having Justin Holl in
I
there,
don't really, but I'll
I didn't like it, but I understand the thinking. I don't understand the thinking of Justin Holl being on the ice.
Matthews' line hasn't started any of the 4 games, not one.
Well, guess who should start game 5?
Yeah, Matthews.
Yeah.
It was Tavares' line or it was Camp's line. Matthews' line hasn't started one game, which is fucking unbelievably stupid by Sheldon Keefe. And I'm going to get into Sheldon Keefe later. Don't you fucking worry about that. Stay tuned for that. Got a bone to pick with that fucking guy, but you are 100% right, man. It's bad enough that Holl is in the fucking lineup. That's one thing, but to be starting the fucking game, the opening shift, no way. No, you come on, man. That is fucking, you're just asking for trouble. And look what happened. I'm not pinning this whole thing on Justin Holl, but the first goal of the game in the first minute of the game, he turned the puck over that led to a fucking goal right away.
Yeah. And then it was just 10 minutes of chaos. Like the Leafs just could never get back on track. If that doesn't happen, you maybe weather the storm. The thing that I don't get is you're not playing Liljegren because of his inexperience was showing. Okay, that's fine. You want to play Justin Holl. But why in God's name do you have that much faith in Justin Holl? Like,
look,
you
man,
scratched him for the first 2 games, but yet you have faith
no fucking
in him
shit. Holl's made glaring mistakes in the 2 games he's played.
Liljegren mistakes all year.
I know Liljegren. Okay, he made a mistake or two when in the first 2 games, in game 2 specifically. But guess what? He brings more to the table than Justin Holl. End of fucking story. And if Sheldon Keefe doesn't see that, he's fucking stupid. He is dumber than I thought he was. I'm on Rasmus Sandin right now. If Sandin is ready to go, he is in the fucking lineup on Tuesday night, period. If Sandin can't go, it better be fucking Liljegren. I don't want to see Justin Holl again in this series. I do not want to see him.
I don't want to see Justin Holl again ever.
There is no reason for Holl to be in this fucking lineup again. It does not make their defense better. Fuck penalty killing. Penalty killing? What the fuck? No. Like, okay, I get Tampa did score a lot of like 5-on-5 goals tonight. A lot of their goals were 5-on-5. 8 penalties for the Leafs. That's insane. Tampa did only actually have 1 power play goal, but nonetheless, is the reason why they didn't score a lot of goals in the power play tonight because Justin Holl was killing penalties?
No,
I don't fucking think so. So I'm sorry, Justin Holl, no. And like, we're using Holl here just because it's a stupid move. He shouldn't be in the fucking lineup. To a man, they were bad. Like 2 goals by Nylander late in the fucking third. Whoop-de-fucking do. Give yourself a pat on the back, Willie. Good fucking job. Thanks for showing up, bud.
Yeah, where were you in the first period? Where were you in the second period?
But
did you see the play when Nylander just totally gave up on skating into the corner with the Tampa player? It was a dump in. Nylander went in, just totally stopped. People were tweeting it. Like I saw Spit and Chicklets tweet it, and they're like, that is...
Well, does that surprise you?
But I mean, they showed in the intermission that the Lightning were up. I don't know what they were up, 5-0, 4-0, 3-0. They were still blocking shots and getting down in front of it. Then they showed the Leafs, even before when it was 2-0, 3-0, still had a chance to win. They weren't going into the corners. They weren't blocking shots. That's the same Leafs team that we've come to see in the playoffs that was supposed to be different. Not this year. Not this year. You're not going to see that. Well, we saw it tonight.
Did we ever?
So,
okay, look, man, I'm going to go here. So let's go right into it here. I am going to break it down and we'll just go as we go. Like, I'm pissed off because I just overall, I feel as though I'm not surprised they lost this game. Nothing surprises me with these guys, but the effort was very disheartening. Like, if they would have fought hard and lost this game like 2-1 or 3-1, 3-1 on an empty net or something like that, I'd be like, okay, cool.
You'd be okay with it because you'd be like, all right, we got the split.
They lost this in typical Leafs fucking fashion in a big game. That's how this game went, Chad. And it's nothing new here. So, like, show me. Until you show me, boys. The first two of the first 3 games were great. They outplayed them at all. Like, a lot of good things here. The Leafs can still win this series. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know, man. If Tampa gets going and they're just like, if Tampa decides that they're not going to lose, well, then guess what? They're probably not going to lose.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. Like the Leafs, we knew the Leafs had their work cut out for them here, and it's gotten a lot harder. Now it's the best 2 out of 3. 2 of the games are in your building, but we'll see what's up here. Anyway, some insane lineup changes going into game 4, in my personal opinion. There wasn't anybody taken out of the lineup and anybody new brought in. It was the same lineup from game 3, but the lines were altered specifically. Okay, the 6D stayed the same. Big mistake, Justin Holl. That better be the end of fucking Justin Holl, but we'll get more into Kiefer later. The forwards, okay? Bunting, Matthews, Marner, been together all season. Career year for all 3 of them. Career year for all 3. What does Kiefer do? We got a chance to take a fucking big time series lead here. We should probably fucking split those guys up, though. Like, Bunting shouldn't be up there anymore. Why do that? Let's put him on the 4th line.
I mean, Bunting hasn't looked... His skating hasn't looked great. He obviously had some sort of groin or leg.
Is this the time to make that change?
I don't know, but...
No, it's probably not.
Didn't we kind of see this last year where Keefe starts to overthink things?
Okay, well, I was going to get into that. He's big time overthinking. But
you don't see John Cooper... Like, they got blown out 5-0 in game 1. What did John Cooper do? Nothing.
No, I know. But Keefe does this all the time. Regular season, he's always guys up, guys down, switching lines. He does this all the fucking time. Shouldn't be a surprise. But so here's what the changes were. Bunting comes off of the top line. Kerfoot goes up there. The second line remains the same. It's Cache, Tavares, Nylander. Third line, what did I say? Yeah, Cache,
Nylander, and Tavares.
Tavares. And then it was Mikheyev with Kampf and who am I forgetting here?
Engvall.
No, Engvall was still on. Oh, yeah, that's right. And Bunting was dropped to the 4th line.
Bunting went down before them.
Okay. So just some guys shuffling, like basically Kerfoot goes up to the top line. Like I think Keefe was thinking there, it worked well in game 1. Let's see if we can recreate that. That had to be his thought process, but that blew up in his face immediately.
Maybe you could say it blew up in his face, but we didn't really see the first line until the game was already fucking out of control.
Game was over. 5 minutes in, this game was over.
Yeah, and they didn't really get their feet wet. They didn't really get going, and it all started on that first shift. So, I don't know. And Willie scored 2 goals tonight. You said it at the end of the game. Whoop-de-doo. Way to go. But let's be perfectly honest. JT and Willie look terrible in this game.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with John Tavares.
Oh, without a doubt. Playing the worst hockey he's probably ever played. He absolutely looks terrible.
He is a step behind everything. And, oh, man, the Leaf fans are on him. On Twitter, it's just ugly. It's just ugly.
Like, I'm going to do a recap as quick as I can here, but then have you thought of anything for Tavares? Because I have an idea.
What do you mean if I thought anything of what to do with him?
Yeah. Like, I know you mentioned take him off the power play and all this, but like, do you have any going into game 5? Do you have thoughts on what they should do with him specifically?
No, he makes $11 million. It's up to him.
No, but I've got an idea. I thought about it, and I know what I personally would do to switch it up.
Well, let's do your quick recap.
Okay, so here we go. This should be real fun to go over here. So here we go, first period. Justin Holl should have had the puck out, but he turns it over. Stamkos scores with the first shot on net in the first minute of the fucking game. What a fucking big surprise. I think Tavares...
You could just feel it.
Oh, yeah, you could just feel it. I think Tavares line had just come on the ice at that point, so a hell of a start for Holl. Great start for the Tavares line, great. But Justin Holl, man, like... That better be the end of him. Seriously, that better be the fucking end of Justin Holl in this series. I do not want to see him again. It's Sandin or it's Liljegren. Fucking let's go. Like, no more fucking around here. This is insane. Second, then the puck takes a weird bounce off a Muzzin stick in the corner, kind of bounces out front. And just like that, boom, 2-0 Tampa Bay. 5 minutes into the game, 2 goals on 4 shots. It's 2-0. I'm like, oh, it's probably over right here. It's fucking done. Great start. Bounces aren't going your way. Nothing.
Probably.
Yeah. Like
it was over.
This fucker's done. So, but they just keep coming. Pat Maroon goes around everybody. The Leafs are standing around. The Leafs must have thought it was fucking Wayne Gretzky out there. Well, It wasn't. It was Pat Maroon.
Pat Maroon Robitaille.
Holy fuck. The Leafs just standing around looking at him, and they let him go in untouched. 3-0 Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
8 minutes into the game, 3 goals on 6 shots. The fastest.
Tampa had 3 goals. Leafs had 1 shot.
Oh my God. The fastest 3 goals the Leafs have given up this season. They sure picked a great time to fucking pull that one out.
That's what the Leafs do, man.
Holy Christ. So
that's what the Leafs do. Just when you're like, you know what, this could be different. They could win this series. They do something like that.
So Pat Maroon, Gretzky, Robitaille out there, fucking just Leafs standing around, just won't even touch them. They're just watching them go around everybody.
Oh my God.
Like, this wasn't Kucherov. It's fucking Pat Maroon.
I know, but all Tampa just walked through the Leafs defense.
No,
just walk through.
So this is all within the first 5 minutes, folks. So then Spezza takes a penalty. They should have called both guys here, but no, whatever. Leafs kill it off. Halfway through the first, the shots are 8-1 Tampa Bay, and the score is 3-0 halfway through the first period. Absolutely incredible start by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs get a power play late in the first, and it's just way too fucking cute. I honestly probably counted 30 passes without a shot on net. Absolutely fucking brutal. A 3-0 game, and they're looking for a pretty fucking play? Well, here's an idea, boys. Get a little dirty. Somebody go to the net, get in Vasilevsky's fucking grill, and quit fucking around like you're... I know it's Mother's Day, but, like, let's take it easy here with the, giving out flowers and shit. Like,
just shoot it.
Or somebody rip it. Like 30 little pretty passes. Let's get a nice little highlight reel goal here.
Like it was nothing, and you're just trying to get that first. It's 3-0.
3-0. Like, you get one there at the end of the first, maybe you can make a game of this, but no, whatever. So 3-0 Tampa after one, an absolute joke. Leafs were not ready to play, and this was by far their worst series, or their worst period of the series, in all 4 games, without a doubt. An absolute joke. The first period, an absolute joke. So we go to the second. Any want to add anything there?
Well, I will add this comment because it's all Peterborough connected.
Go ahead.
Rusty Wyatt says Perry's from Peterborough. Maroon is Peterborough's colors, and Bellemere's mom owned the Rock Haven in Peterborough. Just not meant to be. The Peterborough line is killing.
Well, okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So we go to the second period. 3 minutes into the second, Campbell is just fucking waving at one right through his glove.
What was that?
I don't know. That goal just can't go in. 4 goals on 14 shots. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay. Okay. 3 minutes into the second.
Quickly on Campbell, because Campbell didn't have a good game today.
Oh, come on.
Like, I know Campbell is I don't know his mental toughness, how good it is. Do you think the Cooper comments maybe got to him a little bit?
Being what?
Like Cooper made the comment, someone talked about, about having trouble scoring on Jack Campbell because he played so great. And Cooper basically said, we've scored 3 goals on him like the past 2 games. So if you want to give us a 850 save percentage and a 3 goals against average, we'll take that every day of the week. Basically saying like Campbell's not that great.
I don't think it has anything to do with it.
I don't know. I could see Campbell like reading something like that and just I don't think his mental toughness is that great.
No, but I don't know. Okay, maybe, but I don't know. He came off of a really good
game. Giving up the first shot of the game. He was just shook.
He was coming off of a really good game in game 3. He was a huge factor why they won that game. And I don't know. I just think he was not good. The team was not good. It was fucking shit from top to bottom. Like, I don't know. Like, could Cooper's comments have had something to do with it in his head? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't really think that. Possibly, but anyway. So whatever. We're still in the second.
Or the team in front of them just sucked ass.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a major contributing factor into this fucking loss. But we'll see what happens. Like, I think Jack will rebound for game 5, but we'll see. If he doesn't, then who the fuck knows? We're in big trouble, I would say. But anyway, we're still in the second. Tavares takes a hooking call. He can't believe this. He's waving it at the ref like, get the fuck out of here. He can't believe it. Like, Tavares just can't believe the way this series is going for him.
Yeah.
Takes a hooking call.
He took a hooking call because he can't keep up with anybody.
Well, true that. This was not a great call, though, but by the rest.
It wasn't a great call, but he is literally chasing the game harder than I've ever seen anybody of his stature chasing a game. It is crazy watching JT right now.
No, you're right. You're right. So JT takes the hook and call here in the second, and like right away, off the next faceoff, Kampf puts it over the glass for delay of game. Tampa has a 2-man advantage for basically the full 2 minutes. Perry scores, no problem. 5-0. Like, no problem. It's in the fucking net. It's in the fucking net. 5-0. 5 goals on 15 shots for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Doesn't end there.
No, it doesn't end.
Before the power play ends, Leafs take another penalty, high stick and cachet. 4 minutes for this one. They kill it off. And that's the end of the night for Jack Campbell. Källgren comes in halfway through the second period. The first half of this game was an absolute shit show. How else can you describe it?
Well, I mean, it wasn't that bad. Oh, our buddy is back. Koshi. He made the Is it Yoshi?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this shit. But he made a comment last.
Super Mario is Yoshi.
I thought Yoshi was Yoshi.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I don't know then.
But anyway, he made the comment last week about the Engvall's Horsecock singing the X-Files theme. Just beautiful.
That was just 2 days ago.
2 days ago?
You said last week.
Oh, last week. 2 days ago. It feels like last week. He says that he cursed them with his comment last time about Perry Maroon being invisible. The whole damn lineup shows up today. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, man.
A little bit.
It's
a little bit.
We'll blame you.
Yeah, don't be making comments like that again. That's for sure. But
if you want to make comments about singing in the shower, that's all right.
Yeah, that was still the best comment we've ever had. But so anyway, halfway through the second period, halfway through this game, it's a shit show. This game's obviously over. But Källgren comes in. Jack, there was a little conversation at the bench with Keefe and Jack. And Campbell. It wasn't heated. I don't like. Why would Jack? I guess because he wants to battle and whatever. The game was over, Jack. Like, it's nice to think you're coming back there, but game was over. Buddy.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point? If Jack gets hurt or something and pulls a groin in a 7-3 loss, what's the fucking point?
Well, that's just it. So
put Källgren in.
Yeah.
Källgren looked fine, but by the time...
he looked good, actually.
Yeah, but by the time Källgren went in, Tampa wasn't the same team.
No.
They were sitting back a little bit.
Yeah,
they didn't want to get hurt or anything. They just wanted to get out of the building.
Game was fucking over.
Oh, my God. Game was over in the first 5 minutes.
So the Leafs took a couple more penalties before the end of the second, but I honestly can't keep track anymore because when you're taking 6, 7, 8 penalties a game, I basically just give up. Like, I can't keep track. 5-0 Tampa after the second period. Just embarrassing. Very little pushback by the Leafs, which is probably the most
very little.
Like almost no pushback by the way. No pushback. So not impressed. Just very not impressed with this effort at all. Like it's brutal, man. But the penalties again, like you're taking. Where is the stat I had on the penalties? I'll get to that in a bit here. But anyway, so we go to the third period. Nylander tips one in to make it 5-1, and I'm so fucking disgusted and pissed off with this whole thing. I don't even want to do just the tip because that's how pissed off I am after this fucking shit show of a game.
They don't deserve it. Just
no, fuck, you're not getting like nice tip nonetheless. But like, come on, man, we can't do a segment on that. 5-1. Give me a fucking break. So Nylander scores again to make it 5-2. Again, whoop-de fucking dude. Nice fucking thanks for showing up in the third, bud. 5-2. Keefe pulls Källgren with 6 minutes left. Tampa pops one in the empty net to make it 6-2. Then the Leafs come back. Muzzin scores late to make it 6-3. Then Tampa gets another empty netter to make it 7-3. That's the final. The Leafs get their asses fucking kicked in game 4. Men against boys is how I saw this one. The series is tied 2-2. Game 5, Tuesday night, back in Toronto. And you better fucking show up with the big boy pants for fucking game 5 on Tuesday, or else it might be curtains for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, that's all. You summed it up beautifully. You want to hear a funny stat? I don't know if you like stats or whatever. But what do you think the percentage is for goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this game? This is from Natural Stat Trick with Justin Holl on the ice.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, just to put it in reference, all right? So like when Matthews is on the ice in this game, judging by shots and play percentage that happens in Tampa zone, like Matthews had a bad night tonight, but he still had 18% chance that the Leafs might score a goal when he was on the ice. Yeah. Justin Holl, 0.02%.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's where you want it to be.
That means 99.98% of the time,
oh yeah,
Tampa was going to score.
Yeah, right where you want it to be. That is right. Perfect.
That's a ridiculous stat. That is a ridiculous stat.
So, dude, Keefe and Dube is all about the analytics. You'd think they'd be taking a look at that, right?
Yeah, they're all about that stuff. When he's on the ice, it's all Tampa. That, like, you can't look at stats like that. Say what you want about stats and, you know, the old Brian Burke eye test or whatever. When it's that bad, there's something there. There's something cooking.
Well, no shit. So he's got to be out of the lineup in game 5. Look, here's what we should do.
0.02. He was 0% after the first 2 periods.
Now
0%.
Now, look, it is Mother's Day, and we are going to get to a very special edition of Wet Puck or Dry Stick from Mother's Day. We're going to just do a little bit. We're going to play a little bit of what we did last year, and it is it's just a special Mother's Day edition of Wet Puck or Dry Stick. TV mums, some of our favorite TV mums of all time. And we're going to get to that. But before we do, to let a little tension out, Chad, from this game, and before we go into game 5, I think we better look for the flashlights. And by flashlight, I mean flashlight.
So we're sponsored by Fleshlight. Basically what Fleshlight is it's a flashlight that is shaped into a woman's vagina that you can stick your penis into, and you can get one at fleshlight.com. Let's roll the commercial.
The bar play is just not what it once was. What's that? There's an alternative option? Tell me more. Ooh. It looks like a real pussy. It feels like a real pussy. We're talking about Fleshlight. Oh, any porn star that you like, molded to your satisfaction. You don't want to come too early. You don't want to come too late. You want to come just on time. Fleshlight. If the power goes out and you're stuck in the dark, you reach for your fleshlight, it's not gonna help you. You're gonna wish you had a real flashlight in that situation. Nonetheless, the Tippin' Maple Leafs podcast, big supporters of Fleshlight. Ooh, it looks like a real pussy. It feels like a real pussy. We're talking about Fleshlight.
Fleshlight. Go to fleshlight.com right now. Use the promo code TIPPIN to get 0% off your next Fleshlight. You probably see a pattern here. When the Leafs win, it's a Belfour Spirits kind of night. When the Leafs lose, it's a Fleshlight kind of night.
The only kind of night there can be with a loss, man. You grab that flashlight, it's all dark out. You find your way you try to find your way in a dark corner. Next thing you know, the light won't go on because it's not a flashlight, it's a fleshlight. And you got an erection, you stick your dick in it, it's game over.
One of the comments says that Holl should lose his fleshlight privileges until they win the series.
Oh, 100%, without a doubt.
No fleshlight for you.
No fucking way, man. But look, Justin Holl, just a couple quick things before we get to Wet Puck or Dry Stick, and then we'll come back to tee up game 5, and we'll see you Tuesday night. But look, Justin Holl, we already said, shouldn't be in the lineup. Absolutely need to go and get Sandin in, and if he can't go, it's got to be Liljegren. Done with Justin Holl. I do not want to see him in the remaining 2 games or 3 games if it goes 7, whatever the case may be. You just gave some analytics on him that were abysmal.
It's just one stat, but it's not a good stat.
Cannot put this guy back in the lineup. Cannot do. And look, a lot of blame to go around here, but he is not... He's not the best option. He is not the best option, right? Like, what do you got to do?
Wait. I'm going to put this comment on. Here's a little positive going into game 5. This is Oshu. So we got Yoshi and Oshu. Oshu says something that's not being talked about is the fact we have scored 3+ goals in all 4 games versus Vasilevsky.
Doesn't matter when the other team puts up 7, man.
No, okay, you're looking at it the wrong way. What he's saying is, yeah, the Leafs gave up 7 tonight, and it was a shit show, but the Leafs still scored 3 goals. Vasilevsky's supposed to be the greatest goalie in the world. We just need to tighten up our game for game 5.
Yeah, okay.
We need to tighten up our game.
Yeah, okay. That's
if I had said at the start of the series that we'd be tied 2-2 and the Leafs would have scored 14 goals on Vasilevsky in the first 4 games, you'd be like, I'll take it.
Of course.
But it's just the way this game happened. We were so happy about the split and putting it into a best of 3 with 2 games in Toronto. But after watching this game, you just feel bad.
Look, okay, and that's a nice positive way to look at it, but it's just, like, I'm just more realistic than like, yeah, okay, great, put up 3 every game, fine. But when you start giving up fucking 7 or 5 or whatever the fuck it was, 4 goals on 8 shots, I don't fucking know what it was. You can
score as many as you want, but if you're going to give up 7, you're going to lose the game.
Right, so hence going back to Holl and making better decisions on the fucking blue line. Yes. Giordano just doesn't look as good with Justin Holl out there. Like, and I'm not pinning this on Gio
Justin
either.
Holl
but
needs to be propped up. He needs to be propped up. He was only good when Jake Muzzin was healthy and playing at his best. Gio you can't expect Gio to prop up Justin Holl. He's 38 years old. He's playing great hockey, but he can't do that and prop up Justin Holl. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, we're going to get to Keefe here in a second, but I hope Keefe is smart enough to make the necessary adjustments for Game 5, and that includes Justin Holl not in the fucking lineup. Not making it nearly hard enough in front of Vasilevsky. Way too easy, man. That's got to fucking change. Like, I know we were talking a bit about Maroon and Perry and all that, and both those guys fucking got on the score sheet tonight. Grinders for the Leafs, I don't even know who they are. They don't really have any fucking grinders. Bunting, Blackwell, whatever. Clifford and Simmons aren't in the lineup, but you seeing anybody in Vasilevsky's grill here lately? I'm not.
Nope.
Like anybody even in the blue paint looking for anything after the whistle or just making it difficult on Vasilevsky in any way? Because I'm just not seeing it.
I said it off the top, man. This game was vintage Leafs. This is a different team. This is a playoff ready team. Well, you weren't tonight. Just like you say, they weren't blocking shots. They weren't getting into the dirty areas. They weren't getting in Vasilevsky's face, especially when it's 5-0. Take a little run at him. Go in hard and take a little run at him and cause a scrum. No, it was just shots from the slot. Not even from the slot. Shots from the side. Shots from the boards.
More perimeter than the fucking slot. They didn't even, I don't know. I don't even know. It's brutal. But look, you need to make life a lot harder for Vasilevsky back there. I know you're dealing with Hedman and Bogosian and there's some it's not easy, but still, you got to find a way.
Do you want to win?
Well, that's just it. You got to find a fucking way to make this guy's life. And they've put pucks past him, but not really from the dirty areas. Why don't you get in his face a little bit and make it a little more difficult? Yeah. Bury a couple dirty goals. I don't know.
Before you do that, you got to tighten up the game. Tampa's going to do the same thing Game 5. They're going to come out. They're going to fucking spank you around, and they're just going to try to take it to you in the first 5 minutes. You can't respond like you responded tonight. Number 1, you can't have Justin Holl on the ice to start the game. Number 2, you can't go into a shell. Why don't you come out more amped up, more ready to play? That's the other thing about that tonight. How were they not ready? How did Keefe not have them being like, let's fucking take this? They came out and they were just like, whoa, what happened? What the fuck happened? Tampa's flying and hitting us? Whoa, what's going on? You didn't know this was going to happen? You weren't ready for this?
No shit, eh? No shit. Yeah, that's very...
I don't get it.
Yeah, it drives me nuts too.
And against Montreal last year, it was the same thing. They were up 3-1. You knew Montreal was desperate. They weren't ready for Game 5. They weren't ready for Game 6. And they sure as hell weren't ready for Game 7.
No.
And now we're seeing it again. They were up 2-1. They weren't ready for the pushback.
No, they weren't.
So we'll see what happens in Game 5.
So Sheldon Keefe, man, overthinking things. We kind of touched on that. He's not going to change, right? I don't know what adjustments will be made for Game 5, but he'll tinker. He'll do some stuff. But his overthinking, we kind of touched a bit on, Matthews' line hasn't started any of the 4 games. It was Tavares' line for 2 of the games, and it was Camp's line for 2 of the games. Tonight, Holl and Giordano, your D pair to start. That's not even over. Is that that's not even overthinking? That's just fucking stupid.
It's true.
I've never coached a fucking game in my life, and I would never even consider putting fucking Holl on opening. They're starting Stamkos line. Holl and Gier, are you kidding me? Really? Come on, man. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, the best D pair, I think, in the series has been Brody and Muzzin. Like, Brody, Muzzin's had his weaknesses, but
I think Muzzin's played fine.
But he's played fine. But Brody's been top notch. And if you really want to weather a storm, especially the first shift, because you don't want to give up a goal in the first shift, put your best defensive defenseman out there. And the unsung hero of this team is TJ Brody.
Oh,
why is he not out on the ice?
Is it time to fucking maybe? I don't know. I was gonna say, do you go back? Do you put Giordano and Brody together for a game and see how? And put I don't know. Like I don't. Maybe I'm overthinking things now, but like,
look at you go.
But okay, but Sheldon Keefe, man, overthinking things. Is this it, or is it not that? Like, are we just seeing Sheldon doing what he does, or is he overthinking things here?
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. There are, like, if you look at the stats, the underlying stats, there are reasons why, he might want to shelter different pairings and do different things, but none of any of that would point to what he did tonight. Like, nothing would point to Justin Holl and Gio starting on D. I said it before. You knew the way Tampa was going to come out tonight. You knew they were going to get in your face. They were going to get it deep. They were going to hit. They were going to grind. They were going to get shots on net. Why not put the lineup on? If you start Matthews, maybe, while they're trying to hit and push you around, maybe Matthews and Marner get a little sneaky and get out of your zone and go the other way for a chance on net or something like that.
You're right.
I don't know.
I can't get off of the Holl thing, starting the game with Holl. I can't get off of that. No, but again, like, also, like, to more of the overthinking, like, I think the next thing on my list for tonight's game would be like dropping Bunting down to the fourth line. I know Bunting, maybe he's still banged up and he's probably not 100%, but like I said, career years for everybody on that line, Matthews, Marner, and Bunting. And now you're going to split them up in the playoffs. It doesn't make fucking sense. He's not splitting them up to put Marner with JT to try to get JT going. He's just taking Bunting away from them. And like, a Kerfoot's good enough, whatever. No, man, it's just that, to me, that's a major, you're overthinking that big time.
Yeah, I get the playoffs are, every game's different. Like, honestly, they lost 7-3 tonight. They could win 2-1 on Tuesday.
But that top line worked all season long.
Yes, every game gets flushed and you start again. He just overthank it tonight.
Okay.
If overthank is a word.
Well, it is here. So anyway, let's go here. Before I get to the Tavares thing and before we get to a very special Mother's Day edition,
I thought that's where we were going.
It's coming soon.
That's what I said.
But I want to touch on this quickly. So, staying out of the box, we've basically touched on this after every game. The officiating has been brutal, but again, they took 8 penalties tonight. The Leafs only had one game all season where they took 6 penalties in a game. They said this on the broadcast tonight. Only one game this season where they took 6 penalties. In the first 4 games of this series, they have taken 6 or more penalties in 2 of the 4 games already. Tonight, they took fucking 8. Now, that's with Clifford and Simmons out of the lineup. They took 8 penalties. So, what the fuck? It doesn't matter, I guess. Who's in, who's out? You're still taking...
Also, the game was out of hand.
Okay.
So
they would have taken 10 then if Clifford and Simmons were in the lineup?
Well, maybe. They might have had a couple 10-minute misconducts or something like that. Like, it was 5-0.
The penalties didn't cost them tonight, Chad. But Tampa was only 1 for 8 on the power play, but still, they took 8 fucking penalties.
It could have been like, honest to God, it could have been 8-9-0 at one point in this game.
You know how many power plays he's had in this game?
How many?
3.
Yeah. They look lazy. They look a step. When you are a step behind and when you're not engaged, you take dumb penalties. Why? Because you're trying to catch up to the play. You're trying to catch the puck. And that's where the Leafs were tonight. It's just the way it was. Let's flush this fucking game and move on.
Okay. So though, like I said, even though Tampa only scored one time, like once on 8 penalties or on 8 power plays, still staying out of the box is going to be huge in game 5 and the rest of the way. You can't keep taking penalties, man.
If the game was 0-0 or 1-1, they wouldn't have taken that many penalties. They were chasing the game. They were chasing Tampa.
Yeah, you're right.
It was just such a bad game. If I'm Sheldon Keefe, I'm walking in that room and I'm being like, okay, you sucked, but we are going to flush this. This is a big dump that we don't want to see anymore, and we're going to start fresh tomorrow.
Okay, so do you think I'll give my opinions on what they should do with JT and what I think the lineup should look like for Game 5, but before I do that, and I want your thoughts on that, Clifford and Simmons, do they both draw back in? Does one of them draw back in, or do they both stay out again?
One of them draws back in.
Think so?
Yeah.
Who comes out?
Probably Blackwell or Spezza.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Is that the right idea?
I don't know. Spezza didn't have a great game tonight, but nobody had a great game tonight. But you know what I liked? I don't know if you saw Spezza's press conferences both today and before Game 3. Man, when he speaks, like this guy's fucking smart.
Yeah.
He just talks about playoff hockey like a guy who's done it 100 million times, which he has. He's been there so many years. I'm like, I want that guy in my room.
I'm going to tell you right now, Chad, for me in Game 5, in a critical game in this series that I think they need to win if they have a chance of winning
out,
I have Spezza in that game.
Oh, I definitely want Spezza in. Listen, if anyone listening to this podcast, go back and listen to his press conferences. He talks about the power play, like such a good interview. Unlike everybody else is like, oh, obviously we need to do this, and obviously we need to do that, and obviously we need. Spezza talks about how he's like, you're going to get power plays in the playoffs, and you're not always going to enter the zone right, and sometimes you just got to hit reset and start again. Every shift is different. The game momentum. The way he was talking, I was like, man, if I'm a coach, I want that in my dressing room. I want that guy for everybody to go to and be like, dude, what should we do? Like, what should we fucking do right now?
100%. So we'll see. It should be interesting to see if Clifford or Simmons draw in, which I think is still kind of like maybe not the right call, considering you cannot take penalties in this critical Game 5.
Maybe don't put them in and just look to Game 3 where you sort of made the Maroon and Perry line invisible. You made them useless. You need to do that again. If you're not going to play Clifford or Simmons, you need to do that.
That's what I'm thinking. So here's what before we get to Wet Puck or Dry Stick, and stay tuned for this Mother's Day edition of Wet Puck or Dry Stick, because it is some of the best work we've ever done on this podcast. But listen, folks. Chad, I want your opinion on this. If anybody wants to share a comment or a thought on this, please do. I thought long and hard, and that's when I do my best. That's when I do my best thinking, long and hard. Okay. What are you going to do with John Tavares? What can we do? We're 4 games in here. We haven't gotten a sniff from this fucking guy. What can we do to maybe get JT going and get something out of this guy? Here's what I came up with, and you give me your thoughts on this. My Game 5 lineup. And I was waiting to see what happened tonight. If JT would have showed up, had a good game, maybe they would have had 3-1 series lead going back, then it's all good. But it's not all good. Tonight was the worst game by a mile in this series for the Leafs. Tavares, again, a no-show. And here's where I'm at for Game 5. My Game 5 lineup is this. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. The D group is the same, minus Justin Holl. It's Sandin or it's Liljegren. I don't care.
I thought you meant the same.
No, the D group is the same. I leave it.
Brody, either Sandin or Magnum.
That's right. Put one of the kids in, and Justin, you're fucking out. I don't touch anything else on the blue line. That's it. My forward group looks like this.
Oh, I'm ready.
Matthews, Marner, Bunting.
Seen that before.
Okay. Nylander, Kerfoot, Mikheyev, my second line. My third line, Camp with Cachet and John Tavares. And my fourth line is Spezza, Engvall, and Blackwell. That's how I would fucking line it up for.
So you're putting JT down on the third line.
I'm putting Cachet and Camp back together because those guys had chemistry early in the season and played some of their best hockey together. 2 of the smartest guys on the team.
You're moving Seabiscuit up to the second line.
No, Seabiscuit is on the fourth line with Spezza and Blackwell. Last year in the playoffs.
Sorry, not Seabiscuit, Mikheyev.
In the Montreal series last year, Kerfoot and Nylander played their best hockey when Tavares went down, and those two played together. They played their best hockey. They were playing with Galchenyuk. Play them with Mikheyev. That's an upgrade over Galchenyuk. So again, Bunting, Matthews, Marner stays the same. My second line, Kerfoot with Nylander and Mikheyev. Third line, Camp, Cachet, and Tavares. So Tavares is moving to the wing with Camp and Cachet. Fourth line, Spezza, Engvall, Blackwell. What do you think?
I like it.
Did that cross your mind at all?
No, I hadn't thought about that, but I like it.
What else can you realistically do that would make sense? Like, does that make sense to you, or am I an idiot?
No, it makes sense. I mean, you got to do something with JT to get him going.
Now, will Sheldon Keefe do that? No, he won't.
No, he won't. Not
but if he's an outs, I like, it took me a night to think of that. I'm like, where can I put JT that makes sense? And that's the best that I could come up with right there.
I like it.
Would you do that? Would you give that a look?
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something to get him going. So maybe, like, let's say you put Kerfoot and Nylander together, and that gets going. All of a sudden, the second line's going. Then you
and on that line, I'm saying put Kerfoot at center. Kerfoot with Nylander on the wing and Mikheyev on the other wing. That's what I'm saying. So basically, put Kerfoot at second line center.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know. We'll see. It would be, man, if he comes out with that tomorrow, I am going to be super impressed with myself, but I don't see that happening. I don't think Keefe will go there. I think he's going to ride it out. Do you think? Or will Keefe show big time balls and be like, look, this ain't working. We're close to losing this series now. I have to do something drastically different.
I don't know. We're going to find out on Tuesday. I don't think so. I just think he's going to be like, I think he's just going to roll the same thing. It's going to be JT and Nylander, and he'll just change the winger.
I don't think that's good enough.
I don't think it's good enough either. Anyone watching, all the fans watching, everyone's saying the same thing. Go on Twitter right now and search John Tavares. Every fan is just like, what is wrong with this guy? How do we get this guy going? So,
okay, well, that's all I got. We'll come back to wrap, but do you want to cue it up and we'll get to it?
Yeah, let's get to it.
You want me to cue it up, or do you want to cue it up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so it's Mother's Day. So last Mother's Day, we did a special wet puck or dry stick on TV Moms. We're going to replay that right now because a lot of people didn't hear it, and it's gold. It's golden. Just a little lighthearted stuff after a shitty night watching the Leafs.
It is golden. Stay tuned for this, folks. It's about 10 minutes. You should enjoy it, and a little bit lighthearted, and we'll be back to wrap right after this. Ladies and gentlemen,
it's time for a very special wet puck or dry stick. This wet puck or dry stick, we're going to talk about, it's a Mother's Day edition. We're going to talk about television moms that we grew up with. And we're just going to give a wet puck or dry stick on if we like them. This isn't a sexual thing. This is just a wet puck or dry stick on how we feel about this mom.
This is just a happy Mother's Day, man. That's
happy Mother's Day.
Nothing more than that. But so this is a very special Mother's Day edition.
For all you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. It's time for wet puck or dry stick. All right, Dale. Wet puck or dry stick? Do you want me to go first? Do you want you to go first?
No, open it up. Open it up.
You want me to ask you?
Yeah, open it up. Open it up for sure.
All right, here we go. The very first mom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the character and the show, and then you just tell me wet puck or dry stick.
Yeah, we're going by TV names here, okay? Not their actual
names. Because everybody just knows them.
Yes.
My first mom, one that I grew up with. I love this mom.
Mm-hmm.
Dale, wet puck or dry stick? Peg Bundy. Married with children.
Dude.
Wet puck or dry stick?
Dude. I don't know what Al was thinking on this one. He never wanted to be with Peg. Peg was a fox. She was like wearing yoga pants before yoga pants were even a thing. Peggy Bundy. Oh, wet puck.
Well, happy Mother's Day, Peg Bundy.
Chad?
Yeah. What do you got for me?
Well, here's a little interesting development. Here's an interesting development. a favorite of ours on the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. We usually talk about Boner. Sometimes we talk about Mr. Seaver.
Mike.
But tonight, we are talking about Maggie Seaver, Mr. Seaver's wife, wet puck or dry stick, Maggie Seaver.
Well, let me tell you something about Maggie Seaver. She never walked into a room without a little sweater on. Always had a little sweater, just covering up the tight white shirt. That is a wet puck. Wet puck for Carol or for Maggie.
Carol was the daughter. Easy there. Easy.
Sorry, I had a big thing for Carol.
Easy. We're talking about Maggie Seaver, the mom on Growing Pains. Maggie Seaver.
That's wow. That is a straight to the wet puck.
Double wet puck. Nothing but wet pucks here.
All right,
Chad, it's your turn.
Dale. Wet puck or dry stick? Kitty from That 70s Show.
Oh, man. Kitty, wow. Yeah. She liked to sneak a margarita or two. I'd like to sneak her a wet puck. That is for sure. Wet puck for Kitty. Oh, big time wet puck for Kitty. Yes, big time. Red had it made on that one. Red had it made.
Kitty. You dumbass.
Wet puck, big time.
Wet puck, dry stick, TV Moms edition.
Okay, well, now we're going to get a little interesting here.
Ooh, all right.
Who's the boss, Chad? Who's the boss?
You're not getting me Judith Light, are you?
We're talking about Angela Bauer. Who's the boss? Tony Danza's boss on Who's the Boss? Angela Bauer.
Samantha.
Angela from Who's the Boss?
You know, I never really cared for Who's the Boss, so kind of thinking maybe dry stick.
Well, she kind of seemed a little
like, had you said Mona? Well, I mean, obviously that's a wet puck.
Maybe we go a 2-for-1 combo here. Mona and Angela.
You know what, though? Yeah, I mean, the right episode, the right. Yeah, I'll go wet puck.
Man, how could you not? That is just something you can't deny. And unfortunately, we're going TV Moms here, so we cannot throw in Sam, Tony's daughter.
Wow. God.
She grew up on the show.
Yeah, what's her real name?
Alyssa Milano.
That's it, Alyssa Milano. Jeez.
Yeah, that's a wet puck all day. Just once again here, this is a very special Mother's Day edition of Wet Puck or Dry Stick from the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. Take it away, Chad.
All right. Dale. Wet puck or dry stick? Jill Taylor.
Ooh.
Home Improvement.
Oh,
she had the tool, man, every night.
She spit out three little tool mans. And so from what I know about Jill Taylor is that like she really likes tools. She loves like hard.
Well, you wouldn't marry the tool man if you didn't love tools.
She obviously knows a thing or two.
And she let Al hang out there.
Yeah, Al was around. Wilson was around. Nothing but good tools. I've got a tool for Jill Taylor. It's a wet puck. It's a wet puck for Jill Taylor.
Oh, my God. What do you got for me?
We're going deep. We're going deep into the archives here.
All right. All right.
This is a special lady. Okay? As soon as I say the name, it's going to give it away. So I don't know whether to say the name of the show or the name of the lady first. But this is digging deep. This is digging deep into our childhood.
All right, hit me.
Blanche Devereaux. Golden Girls. Blanche Devereaux. Wet puck or dry stick, Blanche.
Okay, time out. Wasn't Sophia the mom?
They all had kids, man. They just didn't live with them. They all lived. They were all like, retiring.
The oldest woman lived with her daughter.
Okay, that's true. But they were all like retirement in Florida, blah, blah, blah.
But Blanche was like, she was always up for a good time, always dancing. Yeah. She was always wearing those silky shirts that kind of flowed in the wind.
Blanche was always looking for a dude. Oh, she had like 5 kids. She didn't care. Blanche was always looking.
She'd be like, don't wait up. I'll be out all night.
Let me ask again, Chad. Blanche Devereaux, wet puck or dry stick? Golden Girls. Blanche.
Well, I'll tell you something. I didn't have to. As soon as you said Blanche, it was wet puck.
Blanche Devereaux, wet puck. Yes.
All right. Dale, wet puck or dry stick? From the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Aunt Viv.
Ooh.
One or two, because there were 2 different ones.
I prefer number 2.
Okay.
Okay. I will just say this right now. But at the same time, man, it is hard to like live up to Uncle Phil. Okay.
That's true.
Very hard. Very hard. But I would take a shot. I'd take a stab at it. I would have to go wet puck on this. Wet puck, Fresh Prince. Yeah. The first ever wet puck dry stick installment with no dry sticks. It's wet pucks for everybody. Now, I'm not sure she had kids on the original version of the show, but when they brought the show back, there were kids involved, and she might have had kids on the original version of the show. We're talking about Becky Catastopoulos. Is that her name? Full House Have Mercy, Uncle Jesse's lady on Full House, Becky. I don't know what the last name.
Let's just say Stamos.
Stamos. Yeah, Becky Stamos, Full House. I mean, come on, let's be serious here.
That's a wet puck.
Oh my God, you don't even know without hesitation.
And I think she's in jail right now, but that's a wet puck.
That's a different subject, okay? But when I was a kid, man, watching Full House and Aunt Becky comes on the screen, whoo!
Dale, I got one for you.
Okay.
Great show. A great show from the 1990s. Not only was she the mom on the show, but the show was based around her. Roseanne Connor from Roseanne. Wet puck or dry stick, Dale?
Whoo, man. Could not tell you how many. I watched this show religiously as a child. I could not tell you how many times I went to bed. Oh, I watch Roseanne all the time, man. I could not tell you how many times I went to bed thinking about Darlene and the other blonde-haired daughter who I can't think of her name right now. But the one who I really thought about the most was absolutely
John Goodman.
Yes. Dan. But second to him, it was Roseanne. That is a hard wet puck. Big time wet puck.
Do you have any more for me?
I got a couple, Chad. Ready for this one?
Oh, my God, yes.
Here's a couple favorites. I've been saving the best to last. Ready? Here we go. An old classic that we all used to love. Kelly Kapowski, Saved by the Bell.
She never had a baby.
Not in the original series, but now that it's brought back to life in the new Saved by the... I'm throwing you a curveball. In the new Saved by the Bell reboot, she's got a kid. His name is Mac. Not Zach.
Mac Morris.
Mac Morris. Kelly Kapowski. Let's talk about a wet puck or a dry stick.
That was a wet puck in the 1990s. That was a wet puck in the early 2000s. That's a wet puck today, and that will be a wet puck 20 years from now.
Forever, man.
Like you're picking, I guess, if they had a kid sometime on the show. I was picking mom.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I kind of went off radar.
I'm just picking like famous TV moms.
Yeah, sorry. I definitely was like I was doing like.
You were doing hardcore research on.
Yeah, I was doing research on like, did this chick have a kid on the show? Because I want her to be on the list. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of a very special edition of Wet Puck or Dry Stick, a Mother's Day edition. Wow. A lot of wet puck. There's wet pucks all over the place here.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You know what? Wet pucks to all you moms out there. From the Tip It Maple Leafs podcast, we wish you nothing but the best on Mother's Day.
There you go, Dale. That was good.
Am I muted?
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I probably should have explained that wet puck or dry stick if no one knows.
Wet puck is good, dry stick is bad.
That's right. So a lot of wet pucks there. Not one dry stick in the house. A lot of wet pucks there. So yeah, that was from last year, man. Our special Mother's Day.
Special Mother's Day edition. While we were off, and we'll tee up Game 5 right now. But while we were off, I was just going through the comments, and earlier I got rid of this guy, or I got rid of the comment. But one guy dropped by just to call us clowns.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So we're just a pair of clowns.
Well, who was it?
I don't know. He had a Canadian Tire symbol as his profile pic. So,
well, you should have put him up there. You should have kept the name up. Did you kick him out, or did you?
I just got rid of the comment. I was like, "You're out."
Did he have a name up there or no? Like a? Do you know if you remember what the comment's name was?
I forget the name. He had a Canadian Tire logo. So
okay, I'm
sure he's jerking off to the fucking
it's all good, man.
Jerking off to the power drill section.
If all you got is clowns, well, I mean, my God, man, I've been called a hell of a lot worse than that. So whatever.
I'm okay with being called a clown, but anyway,
why don't you do yourself a favor there, whoever left that comment? Grab yourself a fucking fleshlight and go to town on yourself, you fucking clown. All right.
You could use it. You could use it. It might relieve a little stress. But anyway, let's tee up Game 5.
Game 5, man. Look,
Game 5's coming in.
No one has been able to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 2 times in a row, the last 2 playoffs in a row. Tampa doesn't lose 2 games in a row. They don't do it in the playoffs. Hasn't been done in 2 years. So, look, man, the Leafs have been the better team in 3 of the 4 games. So why not, maybe tonight was just a little blip on the radar, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, do they show up in Game 5 and fucking get her going, or is this series, was tonight the beginning of the end?
No, I think okay. Do you ever follow Down Goes Brown? Yeah. Phenomenal writer for The Athletic. He has a great Twitter account. He actually said before the game, he had a great tweet. He's like, does anyone else kind of feel like this is going to be the one road game where everything goes wrong, or is it just me?
Was this before the game?
Before the game.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like that happened tonight. Like everything kind of went wrong. Nothing really went the Leafs' way. They didn't start right. Everything was shit. This is the Tampa team that lost 5-0 in Game 1. That's not the Tampa team that they are. The Toronto team that lost 7-3 tonight, that's not the Toronto team that they are. Game 5, I think I don't think we've seen this yet. I don't think we've seen both teams at their best play a game. I think you're going to see it in Game 5.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Leafs need to come out with an absolutely incredible effort to beat this team on Tuesday night, and I can't wait to see what happens, and we will be back immediately following the game, win or lose, to break it all down on our post-game podcast after Game 4.
Yes, Game 5.
Game 5. Sorry, Game 5. Let's
forget about Game 4.
We'll be forgetting all about Game 4 and moving on to Game 5 Tuesday night.
100%. All right. For the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, on Twitter at the Tip In Podcast. Email us at tipinpodcast@gmail.com. Check out this YouTube page at the Tip It Maple Leafs Podcast. Hit like and subscribe and join our live streams after every playoff game and until Game 5, where we really see what team the Leafs are. And yeah, Yoshi says adios Game 4. Let's flush Game 4. Game 5, Tuesday night. Leafs have a chance to take a 3-2 series lead and go into Tampa for the win. What are your parting thoughts, Dale?
Well, Chatty, I'm just going to go fire up some old Golden Girls and I'm going to reunite with my old friend Blanche Devereaux and get all prepped and ready for a big-time Game 5 win by the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're going to be coming hard, and they're going to be coming all over the place.
Here we go. Game 5, Tuesday night. We will see you then, and until then, we will.
Go Leafs, go, baby. Huge Game 5 win coming right at you. We'll see you Tuesday night after the game. Catch you later.